Tonight on NewsVision, conservative activist Charlie Kirk's suspected killer in jail facing several charges, and in Miami, residents of the village of Palmetto Bay demanding a local official's resignation in wake of his comments after Kirk's murder.
Do the right thing, do the respectable thing. Leave.
Plus, late-night talk show Jimmy Kimmel Live is on pause after comments Kimmel made about the Charlie Kirk shooting. Also, ESPN's College Game Day is back at the University of Miami for the first time in 8 years. Hear how the UM community is gearing up for the big day. These stories and more coming up on NewsVision.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of NewsVision. I'm Johnny Muschin.
And I'm Jessica Valdez. Thank you for joining us.
3 sheriffs are dead and 2 more remain in critical condition after an escalated arrest led to a shooting in York County, Pennsylvania on Wednesday. The shooting happened in broad daylight during the officer's routine patrol. The suspect has been identified as 24-year-old Matthew James Ruth. Authorities say the officers were trying to arrest the suspect after he reportedly violated a restraining order. Ruth then jumped into a cornfield and began shooting. Investigators found him in another cornfield at the same area. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro has denounced extreme violence in the community.
This is an absolutely tragic and devastating day for York County and for the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We grieve for the loss of life, for 3 precious souls who served this county.
Shapiro has called for more efforts to protect local authorities and to enforce stricter gun laws on gun violence across the country. Shapiro also ordered flags to fly at half-staff in honor of the fallen victims.
The man who is suspected of assassinating right-wing activist Charlie Kirk has been charged with aggravated murder, and prosecutors are seeking the death penalty for 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. Kirk was shot and killed last Wednesday during Kirk's visit to Utah Valley University. Officials said Robinson allegedly admitted to the shooting through text to his roommate, saying that he's had enough of Kirk's hatred.
DNA consistent with Robinson was found on the rifle's trigger. After shooting Mr. Kirk, Robinson hid the gun, discarded the clothing he wore when he fired the rifle, and told his roommate to delete incriminating text messages and not talk to police.
Robinson's parents turned him in after recognizing him as the suspect in surveillance footage. Robinson's family is reportedly conservative, but family members told officials that Tyler had become more political and open about his opposition to Kirk's views over the years.
People around the country have been honoring the legacy of Charlie Kirk with various gatherings in the past week, including students and community members at Florida International University here in Miami. They held a vigil on Tuesday at FIU's campus, drawing a crowd of students, alumni, and local supporters. FIU's chapter of Kirk's Turning Point organization hosted the event that featured several Republican leaders from South Florida who spoke on Kirk's nationwide influence. Politicians highlighted his impact on young conservatives and his commitment to discussion.
Coming back to this campus, coming back to my old Turning Point chapter after years of not being here has really inspired me to be active, not just on this campus, but all of our college campuses again, because that's exactly what Charlie would have wanted. I truly believe that there is a Charlie Kirk among each and every single person in this room.
Participants in the vigil showed a strong support for furthering Kirk's work through local Turning Point chapters such as FIU's to make sure his legacy remains an impactful presence on colleges around the country.
And while some are honoring Charlie Kirk's legacy, others have found themselves in trouble for speaking out against him after the shooting. Emma Balleste joins us now live from the village of Palmetto Bay that has become a hotspot because of controversy involving a local politician. Emma, can you tell us what is happening there?
I'm here outside the Palmetto Bay City Hall where emotions have been high this week following one councilman's social media comment post about Charlie Kirk's assassination. Hundreds of local residents are calling for that councilman's resignation and are demanding accountability.
About 20 miles south of Miami lies the village of Palmetto Bay, a community of about 25,000 residents that is not a popular tourist destination and not commonly known to most people. But after the Charlie Kirk assassination, the village of Palmetto Bay has become infamous nationwide.
I know we have a lot of individuals that are here tonight to address the horrific act of violence that occurred last week, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and then subsequently the actions taken by a council member, Councilmember Steve Cody.
It all happened because one of the 3 elected council members of Palmetto Bay chose to post a poorly worded comment on his personal Facebook page the day Charlie Kirk was killed in Utah. Councilman Steve Cody's social media post called the assassination a fitting sacrifice to our Lord Smith & Wesson, referring to the well-known weapon maker. After immediate backlash from the mayor, other elected officials, and many of the residents of the community, Cody removed his post and apologized, but he is now under fire to resign.
This individual should not be serving the fine residents of Palmetto Bay. It's disgusting.
But just looking at his demeanor, the way he's sitting there, disrespecting all of us.
Do the right thing. Do the respectable thing. Leave.
Palmetto Bay residents have been flooding social media and the village city hall for the past week to voice their concerns and insist that Councilman Cody leave his post. Florida State Representative Omar Blanco also attended some of the council meetings, trying to do what he can to help rectify the situation.
I didn't come to speak. I didn't come to do much more than to listen to the community. I want to be able to tell the governor and my constituents and actually my colleagues in the House and Senate, this is how this community feels. And it's, you heard it there. Only I think one person spoke in his favor, the 100 others that did spoke against him. And I think that's something we have to take serious.
But even after hours of listening to constituents asking for his resignation, Councilman Cody maintains that he will not give up his seat. On Monday, in a 4-1 vote, the Village of Palmetto Bay Council voted to approve the motion to remove Cody from his seat. They do not have the power to fire him since he's an elected official, so his fate now lies in the hands of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
Meanwhile, residents of Palmetto Bay continue to attend regular council meetings and demand Cody's resignation. They say they also plan to start a recall petition for which they will need 10% of voter signatures to get Cody out. Live in Palmetto Bay for UMTV, I'm Emma Balleste.
Thank you, Emma. And Councilman Cody is not the only local person who has found himself in hot comment over comments about Charlie Kirk. One University of Miami doctor is out of a job after her own controversial social media posts about Kirk's assassination. Dr. Michelle Bravo, a former neurologist at UM's Miller School of Medicine, was fired Saturday after the university learned of a post that she shared on X. The post compared Kirk's death to violence against Palestinians and quoted Malcolm X saying, "The chickens have come home to roost." The UM's Miller School of Medicine and UHealth released a joint statement condemning the post. It reads in part, "The University of Miami regrets unacceptable public commentary made by one of our employees. This individual is no longer employed by our institution. Freedom of speech is a fundamental right."
National figures, including some celebrities, are also under fire for comments about Kirk's murder. Disney's ABC has pulled the plug on the Jimmy Kimmel Live show. The late-night show will be off the air indefinitely following a controversy over Jimmy Kimmel's remarks about Charlie Kirk's alleged killer. During his Monday monologue, Kimmel suggested Kirk's alleged killer might have been a pro-Trump Republican. The network's announcement came after reaction from the chairman of the Federal Communications Commission. Brendan Carr, who was appointed to the FCC post by President Donald Trump, told a podcaster his agency could take action against Disney and ABC over Kimmel's comments. Carr suggested that ABC affiliate licenses could be revoked if no action was taken, and Trump himself weighed in on the announcement.
Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So, you can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent.
The network's announcement came after Nexstar, which owns dozens of ABC affiliates, said it would not air Kimmel's program for the foreseeable future. ABC did not immediately respond to a request for further comment. Kimmel's representatives also had not commented as of Wednesday evening.
The judge hearing the case against Luigi Mangione has dismissed 2 terror-related charges against him. Mangione is accused of killing former United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson last year. The judge says those 2 charges are legally insufficient. Mangione still faces a count of murder in the 2nd degree, and he made an appearance in court in Manhattan Tuesday. His lawyers want the judge to dismiss that murder charge. Since the 27-year-old is facing federal charges for the same killing, Mangione faces a possible life sentence if convicted in New York State Court. And the Justice Department has announced it will seek the death penalty against him in federal case.
Time for a short break now, but coming up on NewsVision, we'll tell you how Mexico's president made history celebrating the country's Independence Day. Also, we will explain why the ice cream company Ben & Jerry's might be renamed. Details in just a minute. Stay with us.
There are so many practical things that we get to do at UM and that I'm sure that you guys are getting to do right now. Having the actual cameras, setting up the tripod, actually editing your own stuff. It's a lot of just gaining the appreciation for the art and the craft. And that's something that I think UMTV does super, super well.
Thank you for staying with NewsVision. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum made history Monday night, becoming the first woman to lead the country's traditional Independence Day chant. Sheinbaum delivered a midnight call to arms called El Grito from the balcony of the National Palace, overlooking thousands gathered in the city of Zocalo. This call marked the start of Mexico's War of Independence in 1810. Along with the names of historic war heroes, Sheinbaum added tributes to unsung heroines, indigenous women, and migrant brothers and sisters.
Ben & Jerry's ice cream could now be called just Ben's because Jerry is out. Co-founder Jerry Greenfield quit the ice cream brand after 47 years. It's because of a disagreement with Unilever, whom the pair sold their company to 25 years ago. Part of that deal was they would keep the autonomy to pursue their values. Greenfield and Ben Cohen did continue speaking out in support of peace, justice, and human rights for 2 decades. But now Greenfield says that started to change recently. Ben says he is sad to see him go.
You know, Jerry has a really big heart, and this conflict with Unilever was really kind of tearing him apart. So he felt like he had no choice to resign.
Last week, the duo asked Unilever to spin off their former company so it could operate independently. Unilever said no, and it denies it is silencing the co-founders. But Greenfield says he's seen a big shift in the company's values. You know, Johnny, Ben & Jerry's changing their name really is a big deal.
Well, hopefully for me, they're not going to take it off the shelves anytime soon.
Well, the rainy weather has not been the best for trips to ice cream shop, but hopefully that'll change this weekend.
Our student meteorologist, William DePaula, is live in studio to tell us what to expect for this busy weekend. William?
Well, luckily we shouldn't be dealing with much more rain this weekend, hopefully, especially since it is a big game day for us down here in South Florida. As we take a look outside right now, we see pretty comfortable temperatures here in the Miami area, sitting right around that 80-degree mark. Similar as we push further north. On the west coast, they're a little bit cooler up in Fort Myers. They're sitting at a nice and comfortable 74 degrees. Now today actually ended up being a pretty nice day. We did end up starting with a little bit of thunder here. I know that's what woke me up this morning, but luckily that did push on out of here. But unfortunately, as we do push throughout the later part of the day today and into tomorrow, we are going to see those thunderstorms push back here into the Miami area. We see as we push throughout the evening tonight, right around 10 o'clock, we see those thunderstorms starting to pop up once again here in the Miami area. So if you are going out tonight, just have that in the back of your mind. Maybe bring an umbrella with you so you don't get wet. Luckily, that is going to be out of here for tomorrow morning. We see nice and dry for that morning commute. But then once again, as we push throughout the day tomorrow, we have those thunderstorms popping up as we're so used to down here in South Florida. We see those storms firing off during that evening commute. So once again, just be mindful of that. And then as we go into the early morning hours on Saturday, we see it's going to be nice and dry here, which is good if you're going to campus nice and early for game day. But unfortunately, those shower chances do increase as we push throughout game time. Now, as we look at our game day forecast, we do have those spotty shower chances and those nice and comfortable temperatures for when we get closer to kickoff. Now, as we time those shower chances out for Saturday. We see those chances hovering right around 40%, and those are going to increase as we get closer to game time. But then once we do get to game time, those chances are going to drop off and hopefully remain dry. And looking at that 7-day forecast, we have those rain chances continuing throughout the rest of the week.
Thank you, William. You may have seen cute little robots roaming around the streets of Coral Gables recently. Lauren Tomac explains what those are.
Coconut Grove in South Miami is well known for its bohemian charm, art scene, and lush natural beauty. And now it is also home to food delivery robots. These electric autonomous bots belong to a San Francisco company called Serve Robotics, and they hit the busy Grove streets a few weeks ago, changing the way food is delivered to customers in the surrounding area.
Right now, we do work with large enterprise partners, and Uber Eats is our main partner. In the future, we expect to have additional partnerships. We've worked with 7-Eleven, we have partnerships with Shake Shack. We recently announced that we're delivering for Little Caesars. And in the future, you could imagine that we might work with a range of platforms.
Besides Miami, Serve Robotics has bots delivering food in several other major cities and aims to operate about 2,000 of them nationwide by the end of the year.
I did saw some customers it caught attention because they were looking around like, oh, what's that? And my staff member, they got really excited because, it's something that they've been seeing, especially in the Coral Gables area a lot. So they were like, oh, finally here in Coconut Grove, we're having the same thing. So
the delivery robots are designed to be cute, and each is given its own name. They jump into action when no Uber Eats drivers are available. They follow a delivery pin using AI sensors to help them navigate, and when things get tricky, like crossing a sidewalk, they can call for human help. With every trip, the robots become smarter, learning traffic patterns to find the fastest delivery route. Members of the Coconut Grove community seem to like the idea.
Well, as a frequent DoorDasher, I really like the idea of having a robot because it eliminates the weird and
expanding our categories and ultimately enabling things that we don't have today.
For UMTV, I'm Lauren Tomac.
For many Miami locals, the Metro Rail and the bus system are the most affordable ways to get where they need to without worrying about needing a car or paying for a ride. But tonight's vote on the next Miami-Dade budget might change that. To close its $400 million budget gap, Miami-Dade is proposing raising the price on the Metro Rail and bus. The current plan is to raise prices by 50 cents to $2.75 and increase the price for the special transportation service by 25 cents to $3.75 to ride. Prices for Miami-Dade's transit fares have not changed since 2013. For riders who use the Metro once a day, the current proposal would increase the cost from around $700 to more than $1,000 per year. And for those at the Miami Transit Alliance, it's a change going right under people's noses.
But we have, by and large, found that folks don't know that this is happening, so it's really gonna catch them unaware. They're gonna find out at the fare box when they're paying for their bus or train.
Miami-Dade Mayor Daniela Levine Cava promises that the funds that come from the fare increase will go back into Miami's metro system and will be used to update and replace older vehicles and equipment. Miami-Dade commissioners will vote on the budget proposal tonight, and it is expected to pass. And while metro prices will increase, the next budget has not changed prices on Miami's rideshare system, Metro Connect. Time for another short break now, but still ahead on NewsVision. ESPN's College Game Day is back at the University of Miami this weekend. We will tell you how campus is getting ready. And we will visit one bookstore that's unlike any other in Miami. Stay with us.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire. How to control the flames. What to do with hot coals. How to secure your chains. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Miami will be one of the centers of attention for the college football world this weekend as ESPN College Game Day returns to the University of Miami campus for a high-profile matchup between the Miami Hurricanes and the University of Florida Gators. Noah Gully is live at Lakeside Patio, where the setup has already begun to take us into the action. Noah, what's happening?
Well, Johnny, I want to start off by taking a step to the side so you can better see the setup of College Game Day taking place here on Lakeside Patio. This part of campus is normally pretty chill, but for this weekend, it will be home to one of the biggest stages in all of college football. College Game Day has been a weekly tradition for fans around the country for over 35 years, and ESPN announced this past weekend that they would be making their return to the University of Miami for the first time since 2017. Setup crews have been working tirelessly since arriving earlier this week, straight down from Tennessee. I had the chance of speaking to some of the setup crew over at the Home Depot pad earlier today, and they told me that work started with loadout earlier today, going to about 2 p.m., and then setup stopped around 6:30 to 7 p.m. But going off of that, the buzz around campus is only getting louder. I actually had the chance of speaking to a University of Miami student earlier today, and he told me that him and a friend will be camping out starting tomorrow evening for a chance to be first in line for the pit. The pit is where lucky fans will receive a raffle ticket to be part of Pat McAfee's Field Goal Challenge. Clips from the Field Goal Challenge go viral each week, and Canes fans can only hope that one of them will be going home with $250,000. I'm not sure if it's the atmosphere, maybe the game, or a chance at the lucky kick. It is 100% clear that the spotlight for this weekend is set on the University of Miami. Reporting live from Lakeside Patio, I'm Noah Gully, UMTV.
What an exciting event. Thanks, Noah. Miami track and field athlete Maddie Shire continues to etch her name into the Hurricanes record books. Over the weekend, Shire set a new school record in the women's 5K at Southern Showcase in Huntsville, Alabama. Since arriving from New Jersey, Shire has broken multiple program marks in both cross country and track, and also makes her presence felt off the track, volunteering with Special Olympics and serving as the president of the Dream on 3 Club at Miami. But in high school, she tore her ACL, and doctors told her that she would never run as fast without surgery.
But that one doctor that told me I would never run as fast if I didn't get surgery, and I remember leaving that appointment like crying my eyes out because I'm like, wow, like he doesn't think I can do this. And I ended up like going against what he said, and I didn't get surgery, and now I'm running even faster than I was before.
Now Shire is turning those doubts into motivation with her eyes set on competing in the Olympics after her collegiate career. Up next, she and the Hurricanes will be back in action next Friday in Tallahassee for the Seminole Classic. Another track and field athlete is etching her name into the record book as well. American track star Sydney McLaughlin-Lebron, who is now the fastest woman in nearly 40 years to crack the 48-second record in the 400 meters. McLaughlin-Lebron scaled the record at the World Track Championship in Tokyo last night. As she powered through the final curve of the track, she glanced to her right to see something unexpected. Another runner. McLaughlin-Lebron opened the gap about 40 body lengths with 30 meters left, but Dominican runner Mary Lady Polino is not going to give it away. She gains ground as they lunge across the finish line, pushing through. Their times are barely neck and neck. McLaughlin-Lebron with 47.78 seconds and Paulino with 47.98 seconds. They are the second and third fastest times in history, just short of the 47.60-second record held by East Germany's Marita Koch, which was set in 1985, a record that many have suspected unbeatable. McLaughlin-Lebron is normally a hurdler, but she just decided to give another event a try, and now she has her name written into the record books.
Thank you, Jaden. One bookstore in Miami is redefining what it means to share stories, and many book lovers are surprised when they get there. I had the chance to visit it recently to see what it offers. Imagine a place where every book on the shelf is free. No checkout lines, no price tags, just stories waiting for a new home. That place exists in Miami. It's called Bookleggers Library and has been handing out free books since 2012. And Bookleggers isn't just a book giveaway. It's a movement to make literature free, fun, and friendly in South Florida.
Seeing people walk away with an armful of books and just being like, I don't know how to describe it. It's gratitude, but it's something like bigger and nicer than that. A community of people who care about reading, who care about connecting around that, and who care about, free access.
And for others, building a community through sharing books is more than just access. It's knowledge.
I read and I write largely because books build empathy for, other kinds of people. That's how you learn about other kinds of people, other people's stories and things like that. And so something that we really care about here is making sure that people have access to different kinds of narratives. Even if we don't agree.
Bookleggers has reached more than 170,000 community members, given out more than 12,000 books, and have saved more than 4,000 books from landfills in 2025. This nonprofit also raises money by selling tote bags and rare donated books online, while a group of major supporters known as the Stacks pledges $1,000 or more to keep the shelves stocked.
We probably have between 5 and 10 donations, like large donations of books a week. So volunteers are super helpful in helping me sort through that and put those on the shelves. So we're constantly putting new inventory on the shelves, I would say almost every day.
And Bookleggers doesn't just attract the locals. Visitors from around the country also stop by to check out some books, bringing their own stories to the shelves.
So, Man's Search for Meaning. This is the book that my dad read, in the 90s? When did you think you read it? In the 80s, yeah. So growing up, I would go through my parents' books and be reading stuff that they had read, so it's cool to check this out.
From childhood favorites to new discoveries, Bookleggers is building a culture of sharing in South Florida.
And then next time I come, I'll bring a book and leave it.
For UMTV, I'm Jessica Valdez. Bookleggers Library can also be found all around Miami-Dade in their pop-up traveling book trailer.
Puerto Rican star Bad Bunny recently said he is unwilling to tour in the U.S. because of ICE's aggressive immigration detention efforts. The artist's residency in Puerto Rico began in July, likely generating hundreds of millions of dollars in tourist revenue for Puerto Rico. His final show on the island will be live streamed on the 20th of September on Amazon Prime, Twitch, and the Amazon Music app.
And finally, congratulations are in order for John Ball Zoo in Grand Rapids, Michigan, that just welcomed a baby pygmy hippo. First-time parents Penelope and Jahari welcomes their baby boy on September 10th, and Jahari revealed the gender by cracking open a watermelon stuffed with blue jello. Pygmy hippos are considered endangered, with only about 2,500 estimated in the wild. But this baby boy is the fourth pygmy born in a U.S. zoo this year. The baby hippo's name is still a secret, but John Ball Zoo says he was born weighing 11 pounds. This is the first time a pygmy hippo has been born at John Ball Zoo.
Now, Jess, I'm hearing it's unnamed so far, so what kind of name would you give a hippo like that?
I would name my baby hippo Hippie.
Well, I know it's called John Ball Zoo, so John Ball rhymes with John Wall. I'm a big Wizards fan, and he was an absolute beast in Kentucky, so I feel like I might go with that. But also a gender reveal party for a hippo? It's a little bit much, maybe?
I think it's cool.
It's definitely cool, but I don't know if that's really what I would do for a pygmy hippo. So that's all the time that we have for this edition of NewsVision. Thank you so much for joining us.
We will see you next week, same time, same place. Have a good night.